Independent a la Ross Perot is starting to pick up traction. Trump has said he wants to run on the GOP line and he thinks he can win the nomination, but he hasn't ruled out trying his luck as an independent. Republican pollster Frank Luntz says a third-party Trump campaign would take enough votes away from the party candidate to guarantee victory for Hillary Clinton. And joining us now to talk more about Trump and all things political, our political analyst, New York Post political columnist Fred Dicker. Fred, good to see you. You had Ed Cox on your radio show today, and he was talking about the Trump factor. Tell us a little bit about what he was saying.
Sure. He was saying, maybe it was wishful thinking, Liz, but he was saying he thought that Trump would flame out, that he's the dessert of the day, and obviously very popular and generating tremendous numbers in the polls relative to the other Republican candidates. But he said it wouldn't last. He mentioned from 4 years ago Newt Gingrich, who was a popular figure for a while, and he disappeared. I think some of it may be wishful thinking. Let me just mention one other thing, Liz. He also predicted that Hillary Clinton would not be the candidate. He says she's failing, and that he thinks that there's a good chance that the vice president will run Joe Biden or someone else will emerge.
So what about this whole idea of Trump as the independent candidate? I mean, we've heard him say already that's not where he's headed, and the polls seem to suggest he doesn't have to head there.
Well, you're absolutely right. He also has suggested he might try a third-party run. I think there is no question that Frank Luntz is right, that if he ran, he would guarantee the election to whoever the Democratic candidate is, a la Ross Perot. There's just great nervousness, Liz, amongst Republicans here in New York and nationally over Donald Trump. Remember what he did last year? He basically destroyed Rob Astorino's campaign. He played around month after month with the possibility that he would run for governor, and then he didn't in the end. He's talked in the past about running for president. He's backed Democrats. He's taken different sides of issues that he's taking right now. So there's a fundamental sense that Trump is about Trump, that he's sort of an unbridled egomaniac, and it's made Republicans very, very nervous, and I think they ought to be.
Well, the polls still show him in the lead, so apparently the public likes that kind of rhetoric. And the question is, we hear Mike Huckabee apparently trying to mimic that a little bit with his recent comments about Israel and Iran.
And yes, I mean, he suggested that President Obama's deal with Iran, which is obviously very controversial, is bringing the Israelis, that is to say the Jewish Israelis, to the doors of the ovens, a reference to the Holocaust, very controversial. He's gotten some backing from Jewish groups and others, but he's also been condemned by some others. But as you started out by suggesting, it's been seen as an attempt by him to use the kind of Trump-like rhetoric which will get him attention, and certainly it did. We're talking about him right now.
We certainly are. I imagine we'll be talking about him again, certainly about Donald Trump as this plays out. Thank you, Fred. We'll look forward to talking again very soon. Fred, of course, on the radio, live from the state capitol. Weekday mornings, 10 to 11 on Talk 1300 AM.